Hello everyone. It's we do a little trolling. Today I bring you my promised idea video, in which I explain where I got the idea for each of my incidents thus far, as well as the significance of each date. Please note that this video contains spoilers for all of my incidents, as I will be going over each of them, so if you haven't seen any of my incidents yet and plan to, I would recommend not watching this until you've gotten through all of them. Also, this will only go over my full-length incidents and not my trials shorts, as those were mainly just short stories that I thought up on the fly anyway, just so you are aware. Without further ado, let's get started. On June 12th of this year, 2023, I actually went to visit my girlfriend at her apartment, which is actually the apartment I am staying at now as of last month, and she was taking classes for her master's, so I was left alone at the apartment for a few hours, just like the troll character in the video. When it grew later, I let my imagination go wild. I have always been into horror stories, so I began to imagine if she were to return to the apartment later, but it wouldn't really be her, as I would find out. At this time I was just starting to watch Trolls incidents on my own, so this gave me the inspiration to start making my own incidents, with this story that I had in mind to be my first incident, and there we have it. The date, June 12, 2023, as I said, is the date that I was at the apartment and thought of this incident. A few months ago, I came across a few videos on TikTok and Instagram that had this message: do not look at yourself in the mirror between 3 AM and 5 AM because your reflection won't be of yourself, and I found it funny, so I decided to create an incident around that idea. At the house I used to live at, which was the house I grew up in, my bedroom door is in fact right across the hall from our bathroom, so you could see my bedroom door in the reflection of our bathroom mirror, so that's where I got the idea for this particular scene. The rest of the video is just what I came up with to continue the story. The date of this video, May 23, 2024, has no particular meaning to it. Back in 2014, when I was only 14 years old, my family began to do laser tag at a local Laser Quest establishment regularly for summer fun. And on the night of May 23, 2014, my family went to Laser Quest for the first time, so whenever I think of that particular date, I think of that fun time. I just decided to allude to the date by making it May 23, 2024, which will be exactly 10 years later. This one is based on a horror story I heard on YouTube as told by Mr. Nightmare. In the story, the narrator talks about how they had a dream that they went to their bedroom closet and they saw a strange man with a creepy face inside the closet peering at them, causing them to wake up in a panic. A few months later, the narrator goes with some of their friends to a spring break party one evening, and at one point, they see a strange man from across the party staring at them, and upon a closer look, they recognize their face and realize it was the man from the dream they had a few months ago. The narrator begins to panic and tries to tell their friends about the strange man, but for some reason the friends cannot see him. That was the story, but I wanted my incident to end with a bang, so I wrote the rest of this part on my own. The date, July 14, 2033, was 10 years in the future of when I made the incident, as I didn't know of any other significant date to put. This one was inspired by two movies, and you may have figured them out. Yep, the 2014 film Unfriended, and the 2020 film Host. The date for this video, July 20, 2024, alludes to the original release date of Unfriended, which was July 20, 2014. So that the incident took place on the 10-year anniversary. However, the more official release date for the film on the Google is April 17, 2015. This incident was made up of a number of weird experiences that happened to me in my childhood, as well as a few tropes from YouTube short horror films. The part where the troll hears his parents rolling in bed when they were still out of the house is based on an event that happened to me as a teenager when I was also alone in the house for the night, and I thought I heard my parents rolling around in their bed down the hall, when I remembered that they were still out of the house. Hearing the TV playing from downstairs when it was off was another strange event that happened to me years ago. I actually had a number of freaky experiences in the house I used to live in while I was growing up, and this was just a few of them. The part with the bed folding upward on its own, the red ooze coming from the walls, and the scary face approaching the troll character were all based on tropes I saw from other fictitious YouTube short horror movies. The date, October 17, 2026, was completely made up and has no significance whatsoever. This video was inspired by another animation channel, but I believe it also comes from a horror story by Mr. Nightmare as well. The date for this incident, October 25, 2031, alludes to the last time I went to the movie theater, which was on October 25 of 2021. I do not go to the movies that often, as I prefer to watch them when they come out later on streaming services at home. I did however go to the theater recently to see the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Let me tell you, I used to watch a YouTube channel named Social Catfish where they go through case stories of people who were subject to catfishing from dating apps at some point, and there was one video in particular that stood out to me, and it was this one. While I'm not going to get into the story of this video, I will just say that the story of the video came across as generally unnerving and creepy, as opposed to most other stories that this channel posts, and it left me with a strange feeling, as the people were never able to figure out who was behind the catfish, even after a number of weird interactions between the victim and the catfisher. This incident was created with the intention to recreate the same unsettling feeling that I got from that video, and that's just what I did. The date of the incident, October 21, 2028, alludes to the date October 21, 2018, which was when I started doing online dating before I met my girlfriend. As you can probably tell by now, I like to allude to certain dates of my life 10 years later. Anyway, let's move on. This one, the concept where a young one sees a dead person only to find out later in life that it was really them, was inspired by a trope used in the popular horror series The Haunting of Hill House. However, when a friend of mine watched the incident, they said it reminded them of the plot from the film 12 Monkeys. Once again, the date for this one is completely made up. A friend of mine suggested to me that I make an incident where two friends are setting up for a party, and one of the friends decides to troll the other by making scary decorations out of red paint. However, he would later find that the red paint was the blood of his friend who had just been killed. I wrote the story for the rest of the incident on my own, and I decided to connect it to the girlfriend incident to tie those long-awaited loose ends. The date for this incident, October 31, 2034, is the next time that Halloween falls on a Tuesday like this year. Finally, my most recent incident. Let me tell you a story. During my final year of college, the fire alarm in the newly constructed apartment building that I was living in at the time would malfunction every so often, and for some reason it mostly went off in the middle of the night. While I knew it was just a fault with the building, waking up to the fire alarm going off around 2 a.m. every so often was somehow unnerving to me, as fire alarms going off at weird times always kind of freaked me out. This incident was created with the inspiration from that very fear that I had. The fire alarm sound that I use in this video is in fact a recording of the fire alarm going off in my senior year building.
There is a fire emergency in the building. You are to leave the building by the nearest exit or exit stairway. Do not use the elevators.
The date for this incident, November 16, 2029, was once again an allude to the date November 16, 2019, when I was a sophomore in college and the fire alarm went off a total of 4 times within a 24-hour period, with one of the times being at 3 a.m. anyway. That's my commentary and inspiration of all my full-length incidents so far. I hope you found this video interesting and enlightening. Thank you for watching, and until next time, this is We Do a Little Trolling. Peace out.